Hi, everybody. Welcome and thank you for your support. I apologize for the background noise, but we are still in the middle of some much needed building work. Our internet was also playing up yesterday or over the last few days and was slow to non-existent in the evenings, so my videos were equally slow and difficult to load. Allegedly, our household was using up our bandwidth, so for R100 per month more, we are now getting more bandwidth. So let's hope that helps. Oh well, there's a saying in my family, die wet van Transvaal, kak en betaal. And no, I'm not going to translate it for you. It is not exactly polite. Anyway, guys, I'm back on my anxiety medication, not only because of the building work, etc., but also because we are hearing Meghan and Harry's names again more these last few days. Seeing their faces alongside these puff pieces is giving me indigestion. Really. I mean it. That is why I prefer to add the artwork sometimes instead of the photographs. I have honestly reached a point where I cannot stand their sanctimonious looks anymore. Of course, the Emperor and Empress of Japan were in England on an official visit, and there were photographs of a great, elegant banquet everywhere. The Queen Consort, the Duchess of Edinburgh, Sophie, and the Duchess of Gloucester draped in diamonds, and the King and Prince William looking dapper in their suits, their sashes, and their medals. So, really, guys, what did we expect? Come on, guys, let's count it down and say it together. 1, 2, 3. Harry and Scotty's little soldiers released a taped interview. It is announced that Harry will receive another award and Meghan does a pep walk. Right on cue, so predictable, so painfully spiteful, so irritating. Anyway, let's spend 2 minutes talking about Harry's interview with Nikki Scott. It was recorded during his visit to England in May, and it is said that it was released in celebration of Armed Forces Day, which is indeed on the 29th of June. So why it was released on the 26th, 27th, and not, say, today, the 28th, of course, no one knows, except we can safely say it was likely an effort to upstage Prince William and King Charles. Well, guess what? The King and William looked so handsome, so regal, and Harry with his mini afro, not so much. But I'm being petty and snarky. The actual interview was not too bad. At least he only spent about 1 to 1.5 minutes out of the 18 minutes talking about the loss of his mother. I just wish everyone, including Harry himself, would stop saying he was only 12 when his mother passed. Really. He was actually only days away from turning 13. It is as if people think that him being 12 instead of 13 makes it sound more sad, as if it should solicit him more sympathy. Well, like Nikki said, it is actually sadder and harder the younger the child is, because that child does not get to remember the parent or his or her face or presence, and may thus struggle to build their own identity. But yet, whether you lose a parent at 5 or 10 or 12 or 13, it is still a very sad thing. I am 60 and I'm dreading the day that I receive a phone call to tell me that my mother is no longer with us. So it doesn't really matter. To lose a parent is sad. But so many with the right support, I'm talking about younger people, with the right support, go on to live healthy, productive lives instead of wallowing in the tragedy daily. But anyway, pale-faced, afro-styled Harry did okay in the way that he conducted the interview and not spending 9 minutes, say, talking about himself. However, I watched him as he spoke, and in my opinion, his almost childlike immaturity really manifests itself. For a 40-year-old to verbalize things like thinking you have to be sad for as long as possible, otherwise they think you're not missing them. Oh, what? That sounds like the thoughts of a child. And yes, I know they are talking about children, but I have children, and my children have children, and not one of them thinks like that. And my one daughter lost her father and her stepfather, and my grandson had lost his father too, although that bugger is actually still alive. He just left the country without saying goodbye, literally sneaked away at night. Anyway, so my children know about loss, yet none of them ever used it as an excuse for bad behavior. At some point, Harry says he can't talk about something because it makes him too sad. Well, again, that points to extreme immaturity. Two things happen as you mature. You learn to verbalize things, even if and when it hurts. You learn to control your emotions. And secondly, when a situation is such that it is hard to contain, say, sadness or tears, then it's also okay to look and act sad and even cry. Who the F cares whether it is in public? I mean, that kind of attitude comes with maturity. I personally have seen seasoned policemen cry after an accident or murder. I have seen medics and doctors cry. Even our vet was very emotional when our dear Rover died, and Dragon Man was so upset. The man just walked out. He couldn't take it. Our emotions are what makes us human. To learn to control it to a certain extent is what makes us adults. Now look, I know I'm stereotyping here to an extent, as we all react differently. But with Harry, it is not just word choice. It's also coupled with facial expressions, coupled with gestures. And finally, Harry, get rid of that two-tone teased fro, brother. You look ridiculous. You are jealous of your brother, so then be like your brother and cut it short. I'll send you a shaver with all the blades from a size 1 to an 8, and I suggest that you use a number 4. You will look 10 years younger and a lot more attractive, Harry, and a lot cleaner and neater, etc. I mean, have a look at some of the sexiest bald men around you, Harry. There's your brother. There is Vin Diesel, John Travolta, Joe Rogan, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, etc. I mean, Harry, grow up. Anyway, let's move on. It has also been announced that Harry will receive yet another award. Now, as a rule of thumb, royals do not receive this type of awards. They get honours and titles and military and royal recognition, for service or attendance, medals. If they attend an award ceremony, it's mostly to hand out or hand over awards, not receive them But you see, once again, Harry and Meghan's childlike greed and immaturity turns them into these grabbing, I wanna, gimme toddlers. Anyway, so Harry will be receiving a Pat Tillman Award for service at a glitzy Los Angeles function hosted by Serena Williams. According to the press release, the Duke of Sussex is receiving the award in honor of his tireless work in making a positive impact for the veteran community through sport. Well, I'm not so sure about Harry's tireless work, but he's certainly tiresome. That much is for sure. You know, I'm actually so sick of hearing how the wonderful Harry created and set up Invictus. You know what? He didn't. It was not an original idea. It was based on the Warrior Games in the United States. It was then basically set up for him by the Ministry of Defence and people like Sir Keith Mills. Initial funding was provided by the Royal Foundation of William and Catherine and from a donation by the government from the London Interbank Fund, which is a pool of fines collected from banks who violate banking rules. Since then, donations and sponsorships had been obtained from the likes of Boeing, again the Ministry of Defence, a number of veterans, charities and organisations, and many others. So basically, we talk about corporate sponsors, government grants, and private donations. And we can go into all of that in more detail later. But also noteworthy are the number of donations William and Catherine's Royal Foundation made since Harry and Meghan left and formed their own foundations. It is difficult to say just how much the Royal Foundation has donated to Invictus, but we know they made a sizable donation to start the games off. Then they donated another sizable amount during COVID, and William also transferred or handed over the 1.1 or 1.1 million of the money he received as settlement of his phone hacking case to Invictus. So there is that. If I'm right, it's more or less 2.6 million. More or less, I wouldn't know. Some of these donations are made almost in secret. There's never a big fanfare about it. But I guess the next question should be, how much has Harry donated that we know of? Well, nix, nada, zilch, and if all. Yes, he attends every year, makes a movie about Invictus, and has a Zoom call with some veterans once or twice a year. I mean, wow, just wow. The man must be so exhausted. And there you have it. It wasn't his original idea. He did not pay for it or pay anything towards sustaining it. And all he does is go on a paid holiday in a different country each time he attends. I mean, wow, guys. Give the man an award. No. Give him 2. No, wait, 3. Ugh, give it up. Give it all to him. We are now so used to all this crap that it does not even bother us anymore. Why not go buy a room full of awards and give it all to old Harry? We no longer have any respect for any of these rewards anyway. I mean, why bother? They are all clearly fake, play acting, attention-seeking BS. And again, the ceremony is only in July. Harry is not the only recipient. So why release the news about him receiving the award now? Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. the Japanese emperor and empress visited, and Queen Camilla wore diamonds, and Bro wore a suit, and they were all clicked, laughing, having their best life, draped in jewels. Oh, yes, and I mean, then we need to talk about the pap walk. Let's not forget the pap walk. How can we break Mexie's heart and forget the pap walk? Not allowed. Yes, indeed, Meghan Markle spoiled a Beverly Hills City trail morning walk for many people when she showed up in a head-to-toe black tracksuit and shiny loose hair, stopping so that her friend or assistant could roll up her sleeves for her. How embarrassingly childish. Oh my gosh, what the heck is up with the woman? Everyone else are dressed in summer clothing and sun hats, but Meghan is in her long-sleeved 70s tracksuit. Anyway, guys, it is what it is. Harry and Meghan will never change. They may say they want peace, etc., but the hatred and jealousy is so much part of their lives and narrative that they will never let go. I think it is my opinion that the longer these two are allowed to wear the titles and mantles of royalty, the worse their actions will get. Now, in my next video, I really want to talk to you a bit about William, because although he is only human and as prone to mistakes as anyone else, I do not like the recent narrative, which is clearly trying to vilify and diminish him. So I want to do a proper analysis with the help of my friends, of course. So maybe it will be the next video, maybe it will be the one after, depending on who's available when. But I really want to do a proper job of it, okay? Because I think it's time. I think it's time we compare, we give compliments where compliments are due, and we criticize where criticism is due. But I think, to fully understand how far Harry has wandered off, how far he's distanced himself from the royal family, we really need to look at his brother a little and what he's going through and what is expected of him and how he's dealing with it. Anyway, guys and girls, I'm going to take myself off for a while. I need a break. I need a breather, not just from Harry and Meghan, but also from my home. I need to go breathe and do some retail therapy. Not that I have much left to do retail therapy with, but I can go and buy a packet of biscuits down at the market. So, until we meet again on the next one, please be safe and take excellent, brilliant care of yourselves. And why should you do that? Because I love you. Bye.